All right. This is now part 2 because I played that video and some silly setting on my video meant that when it finished playing that video for you, it ended the stream. So we're just going to organize a link to the new stream and put that into the old stream. Because I just messed that up. This has been a great one. This has been an absolute great one. I think I need to edit to replay for this. Here it is here. I'm going to share that link right now. You've done it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's done. Candice has done it. Mine has done it. That's fine. All right. So we got one viewer. Got one person back. So whoever was most up to date with the stream. Oh my gosh. Today is dying.
So I've put in the comments of the old one.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because the comments have gone. Just
people that were still watching should have it. We've got 4 online. Yeah, and they're back. Oh my god. I'm having such a mare today with live streaming. And now I'm sweating. I need a drink. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So cool. We're back. So I'm glad you enjoyed that little video where I absolutely messed up what was going to happen once the video finished. And it ended the stream. I'm stoked about that. Yes, we're back. All right. Thank you, Gavin, jumping on. Okay, so yeah, beautiful part. And that option, and we'll get into talking about options in a minute because that was one of our things down here. But that option for the black mast, now that's not a carbon mast. It's not a black mast. It's actually a wrap. They do a type of plastic wrap around the mast and boom,
which we thought was going to look really tacky.
Yeah, and it was going to damage really fast, and it can damage really fast. And there was some damage on the boom. It's an expensive option anyway, but oh, it looks so good.
But to have a black mask.
Oh, it looks so good. Thank you, Blair. And Anna says we're back. Excellent. All right, so the viewers are climbing again. I've messed this one up. Anyway, so that 588 was just that was the top boat we've sailed from Hanse as far as all of the options, everything that could be on there. Bow thruster. Actually, it didn't have a stern thruster, that one. No, that didn't have a stern thruster. But it had the overlapping, reaching Genoa on the front. So getting into this, getting into the self-tacking, and like we sailed this boat in August, and we typically don't want to sail in August because it's so light wind.
It was a weird August.
It was a weird August, but 2 weeks on this yacht, and I used a record amount of fuel. As in a little record amount of fuel. We used less fuel on that 2-week trip than I've used in some 1-week trips on the other boats because we sailed so much. And that overlapping Genoa, it's like 140%, just made such a difference.
And it was so fast. It was like trips that I'm normally like, oh my goodness, get me off this boat. We went like this, and I'm going, oh my goodness, we're in Velaluca already?
Yeah. So it was super cool. It was super cool. 588 doesn't have a great swim ladder like the 548 does.
Yes,
yeah, of course.
Exactly. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to like the 588 because my heart is with the 548 because of the swim steps.
The swim stairs, yeah. It's such a overlooked detail.
Yeah.
And the option for the swim stairs, and if you don't know what we're talking about, it's on the review. I'm so scared to play another video now because I don't want the stream to end.
But essentially, with the kind of clientele we have, with someone like me who's bigger, and I find it really hard to get up those skinny little swim ladders that most of the yachts have. Mila Felice, the 548, the option that they've got with the swim steps, just completely makes it so much easier. It's great for kids. We've had kids. How old was Gannon when he wasn't too sure about the water, but he could stand on the step and the water was up to his waist, so he was safe. So then he could slowly walk himself in, and after a couple of days he was in the water, no worries. But just having that graduation for the kids to be able to get in the water safely, it's easy for them to grab so mum and dad don't have to like haul them up. I think is absolutely fantastic, and the only boat that I've seen with anything like it.
Yeah.
Everything else has these skinny little. Even the what's the boat that we sailed with Dale and Catherine the first year with Claire and Owen?
Oceanus 55.
That had a bigger swim ladder and it had
that
big
thing.
handrails, but it was a bit bent.
Yeah.
So when you're bigger like me, it feels very precarious.
The whole thing would bend. The whole platform would creak and groan. Anyway, we better not get into reviewing that boat.
But my point is that the swim steps take that.
Carry on now. So to operate
they're completely safe and they can handle weight.
Yeah.
I've been on them. They can handle weight and they're safe for kids, which I love.
Oh, I thought I had them here. So the swim stairs, I haven't got a shot of them right here, but you can see underneath my feet, they fold out and they go down to the right there. So that's actually what we're looking at. And
they're steps. They're not a ladder.
Yeah.
They are steps.
Yeah, and you can more see them there, right in the bottom right of the screen, and they fold out down to the side. And you can just swan up them. It's great. It's really, really easy. And the steps are at least that wide.
Yeah.
So there's no pain on the feet or anything like that. We've had a couple of people, we've had older people on board, which is just like, oh, this is amazing. And we've had people with sore knees or ankles or sore tender feet. Or everything is just so much better with this swim stairs, and it's such an overlooked detail.
Yeah.
So a couple of comments on that. So so that's it. And another thing we wanted to talk about was options. So this is also the davits that are on the back of the 548. Now this option is available on all models. I think from the 460 up, you can get these davits, and they get installed, and they float. They lower the boat down like this, of course, and then you can telescopically lower them away like this. They're not the easiest thing to deal with, but they work. And then they're gone.
Now, just to interrupt you, Chip Walters says, "What about the 458?"
What about the 458? All right, let's get out of this video. How do I do that? There we go. What about the 458? Let's show me made it back. Oh, John's back as well. Excellent. Chip says, what about the 458? Okay, the 458. Great boat. Great boat. We raced the 455 extensively, a couple of Hanse Cups, and the 458. So we raced, first year we raced 455. Great boat. 458, obviously the newer model of it. Very, very similar. Not many differences.
The same ethos that Hanse has throughout all the other boats. Very clean.
Yeah, not
layout, clean design.
Faster. Yeah, like really, really a nice setup. Yeah.
The other thing I love on all of the Hanses and the 458 I actually really like is the storage.
Yeah. Storage
is awesome. The 458 has a little pocket inside, just to the side of the companionway.
This is the 458 that has that up from the 455. Yeah, that was a nice touch, actually. Yeah, a really nice touch.
Just little things like that I really like that Hanse
Phones
does.
and sunscreen and things you put away. And then you've got these glove boxes, we're calling them the glove boxes, up on the sides of the companionway where your winches would usually be.
Yeah.
And we use those for either winch handles, just bits and pieces, which is really good.
But they aren't watertight.
No, they're not
watertight.
watertight.
So we have to make sure we tell everybody who comes on board with us, don't put your phone in there, just in case there's a splash or there's something. And not watertight.
And I think you could probably bake bread in them on a hot day. Like if you're not covering those, like people put their phones in there and they've overheated because they're a tinted glass, but they're not going through. But like the 458 comes in I think these are a great boat. I've always thought the 458 was a brilliant. We ran some holidays on here for smaller groups.
Was what we were on with Erin and Groves
Hogarth,
and Matthias.
And Matthias and Mel. So we had a group of 4. So one couple and then 2 singles. Now, the 458 4-cabin version, I think, is great for this. The 2 forward cabins, they call them double cabins. Not in the summer. No, thank you.
It depends on how small you are and how close you are. It's
my world.
Iffy.
No. They're single. They're very luxurious single cabins. I only just call them double cabins when we hit 508.
And I'm just thinking about all of the boats on the market, all call cabins like that, double cabins.
Yeah.
So it's not that
technically it is a double cabin.
That's what I mean. It's not that they're smaller than other. They're just double cabins for very small, very close people.
Exactly.
They're great for kids.
But what was going on is that we had 6 people on that boat. 6 people on that boat for a week, and it was great. It was a really nice space. When we'll get onto. We've got a clip of the 418 actually, which is one of the smallest of the models. They do a 388, but that's too small for anyone. No, I'm kidding. Talking about how they manage space downstairs. We'll get to that in a minute. just coming back to, but I mean, to answer your, Chip is, and he said thank you very much. That's great. The 458 is a great boat. We've got the 455 we originally reviewed, Vini Vidi Vici, that in the last 2 years.
Who turned out was actually owned by another Kiwi who actually sailed it all the way back to New Zealand from Croatia with his family.
Saw the review on YouTube, messaged us and said, hey, that's my boat. And then we ended up helping them out. Anyway, they sailed with their kids all the way back. So put a water maker on, all this stuff. So they really love it. But yeah, they're great boats. They really are a great boat. Blair said, I can't remember what, but there was something I would have changed on those davits.
The davits on the back of Melifele.
Yeah, look, the davits, they're I think they're a work in progress. They're hard to there's two things. Yeah, there's two things. The metals don't slide in and out very well. Slide in very out well. So getting them down into telescopic can be a bit of a fussy thing. The other thing is the way every single one of them I've seen set up. They've got 2 sheaves rollers on the ends of them so that you can do a double purchase back and forth. But I've never properly set it up. It's always been set up terribly, and it wouldn't ease. The clutches. Just needs a little bit of development on the equipment, but the idea is still very good. No. Gavin said, I hate those telescopic swim ladders. They always bend and nothing of grab with hands. That's huge. I
hate them too.
Yeah, and sometimes they even invert, like off the back. They're kind of like in. And I've had to set a rope up. Even the Bavaria 46s that have a small rail that comes up for people that are a little bit less upper body strength. Like Mahina has trouble with that. I set up a rope over the back.
That's not my lack of upper body strength. That's my excessive lower body mass.
Anyway, set a rope. It's just there's not enough there to grab. So on the 548, having that one long pole that comes up is really great. Yeah. Obviously, we love this one, but seriously, I was looking at buying either a 548 or a 588. And the choice came down to the fact that the pluses on the 588 were things that made a difference for Mahina and me, which is the dinghy garage, this stuff. Whereas you can't get those swim ladder. And when you think of one of the main reasons the 548 excels above the others, it's that ladder.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, let's get that one out of there. What did Blair? John says, okay, Hanse has extended the design of the 460 to soon be announcing the new 410, the new 510. Yes, extended the new design, a good move. We will see. I've seen the layout. There's a couple on order for the marina down here, like a couple of the places. I will see. I still haven't sailed the 460.
I haven't even been on the 460.
Yeah, I've been on them. Feels nice. It's big. It's roomy. I'm a bit skeptical. I'm a bit skeptical of the galley chart table on the starboard side layout where they kind of merged it all in, and then the electronics are like on the galley bench.
Yeah, that's not my favorite.
I'm not sure about that. So I'm interested to see where they go with the 510. And this whole bringing in, someone can tell me exactly what it was, but it was like a designer from Jeannot or something like that started joining in when the 460 and this has come out to build more. What I do like about them is they've redone the anchor system in the bow. 460, I'm looking forward to using that, although there's a couple of things I would change, but not structurally. The structure looks a lot better with a good feed for the anchor, because the Hanse anchors have always been a bit of a pain in the bum, to be honest. Like they're so close to the end of the bow. The bow's very blunt as well, so you've got to be so careful not to swing and hit it. And there's often a twist, so I've readjusted that to have a little bar that always flips it around. But yeah, so I'm not sure. I will see. And I'm sailing the 460. I'm likely going to review it pre-season, and I'm actually sailing it for a week in September. So I have a very good idea about that boat coming up after this season. Extended the new design. I don't know. I just have to see. I have to see.
No, John's saying that he didn't have a typo. He is talking about the 410. And he said that the 510 is already launched.
Yeah, because I thought the 510 was out. Okay. The 410. So what do you mean by extended?
Extend the design. So the design that they used in the 460.
Oh, they've taken it to the 410. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that, John. Okay, yeah. Well, Hanse product manager slipped up a video, posted to the chip. Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay, well, yeah, I will check that out. I will check that out. Yeah, and give it a few weeks. We'll find out what's going on there. So, I mean, there's a lot of Hanse here in Croatia now, and every time there's a new model, a dozen or more of them get ordered for this area. So,
And I
very
mean,
likely I'll get on one.
I think they are ideal for summer charter sailing around here.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they're brilliant. I mean, even the smaller ones, the 318, is that the one that we reviewed?
418. We
418.
reviewed the 418. Great boat. Yeah.
That's Butter's one.
Yeah,
Butter's old one.
That's what Butter had one. Yeah.
I mean, I think the combination of the space, the storage, and the self-taking jib, I think they make them fantastic summer boats.
They really do, actually. So let's have a look at that then. So this is the... I've got to unmute you every time it does that. Yep, go on.
I was really impressed with the 418. I don't like small boats. I like this boat.
Okay. See there, do nothing. This one had performance sails, this particular one. And we got on board this. I was surprised that Mahina was so comfortable on board it. And it really moved. Like we did split to Vis in what, 4.5 hours?
I don't know. The fact that I don't remember it means that it was good.
Yeah, it was fast. But it had the FlexiTeak option. It had performance sails, and we could fold back. It was really easy. So I really like that shot, so I'm just going to see that. But if you want to watch this review, Mahina has posted this in one of the videos at some point. But yeah, this is the 418. Really, really nice boat. This is a 3-cabin layout with 2 bathrooms, and it's got a very generous saloon. So let's
I love the saloon. I thought this was so clever. Let's look at the saloon
now. I'll bring up the saloon and you can tell them about how great it is.
Ow. Sorry, I've got a cat clawing at my foot.
Okay, so let's look at the saloon. You're unmuted. Okay, go. This is just the intro for the review. So if you watch the 2019 418 review, that's what it's going to look like at some point. And oh, that's me. Hey, there we go. That's a cool video. You should watch that. It's a cool video.
It's a very cool video.
That's Butter's head. Okay. Onward, Nick. Onward. Okay, here we go. So, Mahina, this is you. I'm going to pause until you're ready. Go.
Obviously, this is a boat that is too small to have what I love about most saloons, where you have the table that actually drops down and creates the bed in the saloon. And normally boats this size don't actually have anything like that because it is a tight space.
Yeah.
But what they've come up with here is fantastic. And it's not just the bed.
And look at the headroom.
Oh, yeah, I wasn't looking at the headroom. But yeah, look at the headroom.
Yeah.
So the bed actually pulls out completely.
Yep.
And then slides in.
And it's much easier to deal with than the lowering table in a smaller boat, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, that's a huge couch space in a saloon for a 418 sized boat.
I fit on that fine. It was great.
You can fit so many people around. Oh, yeah, this was really clever. The wine storage.
Just a nice little touch there.
Hanse always have wine storage.
And the wine storage. Got it. There's sneaky wine storage. There's got to be temperate.
But if you also, I don't know if you pull the tables up, but having 2 table options there, that table space is massive. I really, really like that you can have table space and walk-through space at the same time. And
I mean, considering how many people could sit, like, realistically, you can have 6 people on that boat at the most.
That's a very comfortable 6 people sitting down to have dinner.
Yeah. And and that's a big table. Like I got in and did a bunch of work there, so it was good. And I'll just skip forward a little bit on that because I'm mostly faffing. But I also like that they kept a chart table type area.
Yeah.
A lot of these boats seem to go away from that, and I kind of understand why with the way boats are going, but still, it's just like
you're old school.
Yeah, I'm old school. So that's the 418. All right, it's a performance version of the 418. Sails really nice. Still has a nice swim platform off the back. Good space in the cockpit.
Thomas has got the right idea.
Yeah, exactly. This is exactly where we right under there, under the wine. It's the best ones. Absolutely. So, so that was an optional. No, not an optional. Sorry. That part of the 418, that philosophy of space, is one of the reasons we like Hanse.
Yeah.
I remember being on one of the boats, the 470 originally, and there was like no power points anywhere. As I've gone on, I've learned more about, like requests and things, but it's still like at that point, they just didn't have enough power in and around the boat. So they've gotten a lot better at that these days. But still, it's a nice thing. The optional extras thing, I wonder if I've got this video. You carry on. Tell me about the other tables, how they drop down in the saloons. Do you know what I mean?
The bigger
yachts?
Yeah,
like in Mila Feliz.
Most of them are hydraulic, which I find really, really easy because normally if Nick's up on top, he's either sailing or if we're at anchor, he's jumping off the boat with the kids and making sure that no one drowns.
The interior and saloon light.
I feel that...
Okay, Mahini was on mute. I apologise. She was just explaining about this table. I apologise as soon as I started the video.
Me.
I didn't mute it. Auto mutes you. It's not my fault. Anyway, what were you saying about these tables?
I bet you wish you could mute me in real life.
I do sometimes. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just saying that because it's hydraulic and it's just a flick of a switch, it's incredibly easy. So when I've got kids that I'm quite often trying to manage and I'm trying to cook and I'm being able to flick a switch and it just goes straight down is awesome. Yeah. It's so easy.
Yeah, and this is an option that's available in everything from, I think from the 460 up now, but definitely from the 508 and up. You can get this lowering table.
It also makes it very easy and practical to use as a bed and then to convert back to a table during the day.
Yeah.
With the ones that have the twist out feet and you've got to pull it off, that means that you're probably not going to convert it very often because it's such a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
Whereas...
Or it stays converted. Yeah, that is a lot easier. And one thing we like about the cockpit is I wonder if I've got that file here, is that those two tables in the cockpit also, no, I can't do that one. They also lower down to make those double lounges. That's a huge plus feature for the boat and as far as sailing holidays goes. Other thing with options is unmute, there we go, is the lights. So you can have these soft dim lights, which are really lovely actually, but there's a big but. Often you walk down the saloon,
especially when you've got a big butt.
Yeah, and you bump it, and then all the lights go off.
Oh my goodness, the amount of times I've walked down that companionway and lights go off, it's ridiculous.
So that was a real pain in the bum for pain in the lights.
The functionality of it is amazing, but the placement of it is frustrating.
Yeah, and you've really got to get used to using them. But still, that's the dim lights, which is it's a nice feature. And again, I came across one boat that had what seemed like either not an aftermarket, like they ran out of the good panels and they put a crappy panel on there. And it was really horrid. I'm trying to remember what boat it was. But yeah, it wasn't great. So that was a downside on the light. The lights are great. Downside, plus side, it's a bit of both. I do like that in all of the cabins, the adjustable bendy lights, it seems like there's still sailors here. Because every one of those lights taps for white and taps for red.
Having a red light in the cabin is amazing.
You just got to have red lights on boats. I don't care if it's always in the islands.
I wish they'd put a red light. You know how you always have one of those switches that you flick just as you come down the companionway?
Yeah, this should be compulsory.
I wish they had a red light there because honestly, having a red light out in the saloon area would just be so much easier. We often leave the red light from the chart table on at night. Yeah,
completely. So it has that, and also at the base of all those lights is a 12-volt USB port, which
so useful.
Is just everywhere. So that just makes things really easy. So little design features like that I like. Little design features like the cupboards and the little storage spaces, the floor spaces. They've made those very much more usable in the later models than in the earlier models. In saying that, the cupboards, the overhead cupboards in the saloon
are not great.
Are rubbish.
You wanted a reason to use that sound effect all video.
They are rubbish. They're always breaking because if someone puts it in wrong, the wood that they're building them with is just so soft, and the screws they put in for the soft close mounts, that it's so small. It's just shit.
you have quite a large, on quite a few of them, you have a very large locker front. And then you have a strut that is supposed to help the locker front stay up so you can actually get into the locker. That has broken on every single one I've ever seen.
And the latches, because they're lifting up like this. They're not folding down. They're lifting up. The latches are these push button latches, and they're no longer a solid metal thing. And we always make a note of this. If you've seen my solo sailing videos from last year or something like that, on the Bavaria 46, it's 2015 Bavaria 46, and it's got the original, how they used to make them with metal clasps, metal clips, and they open down. And it's just got a wire to stop the thing going. They never break, and it opens down. So it's very easy to just make sure it's all good, and the clip stays in. You've got to make sure you push the button and it clipped in, but it doesn't break off. I've had Hanse clips break, let go on us. We've had Hanse clips open and hole
all of our
plates
and bowls and everything to smash all over the floor.
That happened on the 458 because on the 458, the galley on the starboard side as you go down, all the plates were in this big locker up there, and mine usually
I completely reorganize every galley I go into.
But it wasn't quite right, and that clip let go. And it let go after, we knew it wasn't our fault. We knew we'd put it on because we'd been tacking up wind at 18 knots for...
We'd been sailing for a couple of hours.
45 minutes.
A couple of hours.
And we're having a blast. We're really pushing it with Grozy and Aaron and Matthias and Mel. And then all of a sudden we're on starboard tack and it was just like bang, and the apocalypse happened downstairs and there was broken plates everywhere. So that's, that was on the 458, and those clips are just rubbish. I've always said if we got our own boat, I'm just ripping all those off and putting our own ones on and then putting an extra. I mean, this is a going to sea thing though.
It's also, whoever's on the helm is a crazy sailor thing as well.
Yes, Gavin. Yes, red lights can be multi-purpose too. I'll make sure to look out for that for your next charter. Hanse have also got a disco pole in the middle. Sometimes. Comments about little details are helpful. Good, John. I'm glad they are, because it is those little details. Like, we're getting into charter boats now. They're all plastic. They're all manufactured. They're production boats. So it is these little details that make a big difference. Now, unfortunately, what have I got? I had something.
Yeah.
I had something. Look, there is a lot more that we could say on this. But effectively, are Hanse yachts overrated? No, I don't think they are. I actually think they're really good, and they are our preference out of the production boat mess that there is, all of these boats coming out right now.
Yeah, especially for what we do here in Dalmatia, out on the islands in summer.
Yeah.
I think they're brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
And Mahina mentioned something about being kid-friendly. The cockpit of the 548, actually of all of the models in general, is a bit more closed because the swim platform folds up a bit, or you have the barbecue to shield the back opening and things. But the swim platform's going right down to the water. That is a really good sheltered waters in the island swim feature. It's not so great if you're going to have your swim platform down at an anchorage where you've got boat wakes and everything coming through. So that's a bit tough. We've got a baby doing laps in front of us right now. it means it's time to go.
Very cute baby, so it's very hard to ignore.
Very cute baby. So there is pros and cons to all of this. And when you're looking at owner versus charter versus whatever, you've got to figure out where you're going to use this boat.
And what you want out of the boat. What are you going to use it for? What do you need it for? What's important to you?
Yeah.
Because if having a well-crafted, solid, ocean-going boat is what you're after, Hanse is not going to do it.
I mean, I disagree. I think it is, but I don't think it's the new models.
But there you go. Okay,
so,
I generally know the new models. So
the 508 and the 548, I think, and the 588, I think they sit really well in the waves and the water.
Then it's still knowing what, how the ethos of the company has evolved and what you're after. And
I'm really looking forward to reviewing this 460 because they've gone.
Me too.
They've gone and done this Oceanus 48 type thing where they go really wide at the back, and we'll see how well it's actually come off, because I think the upwind performance is going to be it's going to suffer.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how it's going to sit in the waves. Does this mean the boat's a lot lighter and it's faster downwind, but it's not going to sail upwind? Is it going to be stiff or not happy on the waves? So I'm going to test the crap out of that boat, and I'm definitely going to review it.
And it's going to be fun.
And I'd like to see where they're going to go in the future with this, because when you look at the hull shape of the 508 455, it's a lot now. It's a little bit narrower at the back. It comes in more like a traditional seagoing boat. So we shall see. Anyway,
Blair just mentioned, it might have been mentioned, and it was, but I think it deserves mentioning again. The USB and the light fitting is a fantastic design feature.
It really is. It makes a difference from a guest point of view, that you can just plug into something like that. So
and you don't need a country adapter if you're coming from a country that's outside of Europe.
Yeah, this is true.
Which is clever.
Yeah. One thing I have mentioned, sorry, I didn't mention, and I'll throw this in because I prepared the video for it, is that one of the reasons I do like the installs of the Hanse.
Here the water travels up.
Mute, Nick. Okay, is I think the factory does a very clean install. So that first shot is of the air conditioning on the 548. Very well labeled, it made, when I needed to troubleshoot on my own, it made it very easy for me to find everything I needed. This is the engine bay, obviously. Now, the other thing I want to show you is the electrical setup. Now, the 548 is the most complicated of the Hanses, as I said. This is all the 220 volt stuff, and then you've got your inverters mounted in here, and then your main breakers and switches. It's all there and it's all accessible. So I found that really, really helpful when using that boat and going out and trying to troubleshoot things that are going on.
Don't have to cut holes in walls anymore.
And you don't have to cut holes in walls anymore. Interestingly though, on our favorite boat, there's a problem with the fuel tank swelling at the moment. So when you overfill the fuel tank, the tank's actually, the port side especially, is swelling because it's able to be overfilled. And it's lifting the floorboards. Lifting the floorboards, and it actually damaged part of the veneer structure of the something there. But so that was one I was really interested to see how they'll manage that in the future with the tanks. But anyway, all right. Thank you so much for joining us. Look, if this was helpful and you enjoyed all of the blunders with the non-started stream, the missing connection, and all that sort of stuff like that, yeah, I appreciate that. But please remember to like the video. And there's a new thing on YouTube these days called Super Thanks. So if you felt,
which makes him super happy.
It does make me super happy. It buys me coffee. So if you thought this was helpful or you got any value out of it, you can do a super thanks. It can be $1, or I think our biggest one so far is £10.
Yeah, that was amazing.
That was exciting.
10 quid. Wow.
But anyway, we're just happy to get the comments. Share the video with someone you think you might find this helpful, and tune in to next week. If you're subscribed to us, then you'll get the notifications. But next week's live stream.
And if you're not subscribed to us, then subscribe to us so you can get the notifications.
Where's my subscribe animation? I don't have it. What? Entry exit. Yeah. No, not entry exit.
The exporting.
I was on my flow. Next week's live stream. Oh, I've put this up. Thomas says, you're forgiven. Very interesting content. Excellent. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Thomas. So yeah, if anyone wants to throw a super thanks in there and buy me a cup of coffee tomorrow, that's great. And next week's live stream is the the export process of when you buy a yacht here in Croatia. I had to do this, so I've got some footage and everything from my my recent I've just done 2 exports for private owners. When a boat comes out of, usually out of charter, but basically out of a situation where it's not VAT paid, and then you're going to export it out onto a different flag and do an export declaration. So I'm going to go over that whole process.
It's complicated.
And it's changed. And it was a nightmare last week. And
so
it cost me,
tune in next week and you can hear about how much it cost and all the fun hoops Nick had to jump through.
That's the one. That's the one. Thanks for joining us, Hubert. First live stream. Good. Pop your cherry on this one.
Awesome.
Keith Kirby was there. Thanks, guys. Keith, I'm going to send you a message.
We need to catch up with you.
I'm going to send you a message now. We'll get a date for your live stream. Where's Keith? But it'll be interesting if you're interested in that. Definitely come out. Keith runs a company here in Croatia, creating products that clean boats
that don't pollute the environment,
and they are non-harmful. It's amazing. It's amazing. So that's going to be one of our live streams. Anyway, thanks for joining. See you around next time. I'm going to roll the cutscene and then we are out of here.
Have a good week, guys.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.